Imagine being sentenced to death for a murder you were never proven to have committed, even when the person who took responsibility for the killing got a life sentence. That's the reality for one man sitting on death row in Oklahoma. This is the story of Tremane Wood and how Oklahoma plans to execute a man without ever proving that he killed anyone. In 2002, Tremane Wood and his brother Jake Wood, along with 2 women, were charged with first-degree murder in the killing of Ronnie Whip during a robbery gone wrong in Oklahoma City. But prosecutors did not have to prove who actually killed Whip. Under the state's felony murder law, all 4 were treated as equally responsible. Under the sweeping felony murder doctrine, anyone involved in a felony that leads to a death can be held criminally responsible for that death, regardless of if they pulled the trigger or even intended for anyone to die. Nearly every state has some form of felony murder law, and Oklahoma is one of 21 states that allows felony murder convictions to be punished with a death sentence. And in the case of Tremane and Jake, a key factor behind who was sentenced to life and death came down to who was representing them in court.
It was pretty shocking to learn about the lack of investigation, the lack of preparation that took place in Tremane's case.
During the time that John Albert was representing Tremane Wood and other defendants in death penalty cases, he had been struggling in his personal life, and it had bled over to a great degree into his professional life. Clearly, someone who is suffering from substance abuse disorder, who is an alcoholic, who is abusing cocaine on a daily basis, is not the ideal person to represent someone in a death penalty trial.
Meanwhile, Jake was represented by an experienced team of death penalty public defenders.
You didn't get to know Tremane as a person, you didn't get to speak to his family, you didn't do any of that. While Jake over here had three lawyers that specialized in felony murder, and Tremane got someone that was strung out on drugs and alcohol. That's not fair at all.
Prosecutors only had to prove that Tremane took part in the robbery, but in court, they argued that he was the killer and the jury sentenced him to death. One juror, the only Black person on the panel, said that she is haunted by the verdict.
I felt like he didn't have a fair trial. And I still feel bad to this day because it would have made a difference. Whenever we was hung, the other jurors started complaining to me that they had to get home to their families and their kids and that we need to hurry up and make a decision. It's very uncomfortable when you got a room full of people against you.
Tremane has spent over 2 decades on death row, and he is still fighting for his life.
Tremane is there because of a failing of the system, failing of society to protect this child who grew into a man who was then failed by the system. It's wrong.
Oklahoma has the highest execution rate of any state in the modern era. It also has a history of horribly botched executions and people being exonerated from death row. All this has resulted in growing momentum in the Oklahoma legislature, even among some conservatives, for an execution moratorium.
I realized I could not support the death penalty in any case because I could not support the undeniable, unchangeable risk of executing an innocent person.
Whether you support capital punishment or you oppose it, one thing is clear. From start to finish, the Oklahoma capital punishment system is badly broken.
For Jake, Tremane's life had value. He loved him deeply. He felt responsible for Tremane being in the situation Tremane's in.
Well, I have a really big hole in my heart from Jake dying. And if Tremane dies, then that's 2/3 of my heart gone, and it's hard to live on 1/3 of a heart.